Hello, Neto,
said Barnacle Harry, a.k.a. Barnabas, a.k.a. Harry. He looked the same, unsurprisingly. 6'4", broad-framed, V-shaped with his trademark bare ankles and his winged shoes. His clothes were modern, though probably something tacky like Banana Republic. His shirt had little whales on it, no doubt chosen to remind me of his legendary status. He was known as Barnacle Harry because he had survived a treacherous Atlantic voyage a long time ago aboard a pirate ship by clinging to the side of the hull like a barnacle. Story goes he would periodically come aboard at night and terrorize the pirate gang, feed, then return to the side of the hull before anyone was the wiser. The pirates turned on each other in a frenzy, and ultimately only a few survived the voyage, one of them being Harry. Later it turned into Barnabas, or Barney sometimes. We did not like each other, I think. Sometimes I can't remember.
I'm not here to bother you much. You'll be happy to know that there are still a few of us in the collective still making progress despite having lost Agatha. Sorry, I know you don't like me mentioning her name.
Agatha died over 150 years ago, but to us it was like yesterday. It had been my turning point on leaving the collective, as Barnabas called it. But more on that some other time, perhaps.
Anyway, it wasn't easy to find you, you slippery little weasel, so if you wouldn't mind hearing me out.
I sat on a crate and crossed my arms, looking a bit like pouting child, which is what I felt like, to be honest. Barnabas could be cruel, and I would not put it past him to punish me for his own amusement or to garner my attention. He was big, I am not. His powers are also more nefarious than mine.
You're the only one we know who can do this thing we need done, you see. It's nothing crazy, just a piece of art from a museum. I don't even need to bother you about what it is now, and it's not large. It can be squirreled away on your person, but we obviously need someone who the cameras will be confused by, which is your spécialité, I'm afraid.
I sighed. I could say no. Barnabas might just leave. He also might come back every day for a year. He might bring reinforcements. I could escape to somewhere else. Somehow he might find me again. Where is it? I said at last. Hearing my own implicit agreements made me tired.
Oh, not far. Pretty mild security. Well, not anything like the Louvre anyway. You'll just need a day to stake it out, maybe find a good exit plan, that sort of thing. We can help, but I know you don't like us much anymore anyway. In exchange, how do you say we leave you alone for another 100 years, if civilization even has that long, right? No hard feelings on leaving us, Neto. Your own chosen family, as the kids call it.
I gave an imperceptible sigh. We stared at each other in the dying light. Barnabas had appeared out of nowhere like he has always done. I was frightened, but also strangely consoled by his supernatural ability to surprise me so. I do not miss him, but sometimes I miss being around others of my kind.
Well, would you like to turn away and I'll disappear like the Batman? Agatha told me you enjoyed that about me once. Sorry. There I go mentioning her name again.
I broke our gaze quite naturally and looked away, and when I looked back, he was gone. In his place was a small envelope. I opened it. It simply said,
Providence. Tu sauras quand tu verras. You will know when you see.
The letter then lit on fire and turned to ash. I am an artist first, a vampire second. Both are a form of immortality. I've spent my whole life trying to renounce the second in favor of the first, but again and again it defines me. If I had only one life, perhaps I could have dedicated myself wholly to my art. Perhaps I could have truly developed an individual style, a signature that would be remembered forever. But instead, I am cursed to wander forever in search of one, never truly finding what I am looking for. So dramatic. What the hell do they want with a piece of art? There are artifacts in museums that perhaps could have some sentimental quality to Barnabas. An old sword he used to kill someone, perhaps. His favorite goblet for his brief tenure as a rich duke in Moldova. Perhaps it is not for Barnabas. Perhaps it is an item to trade for something else. The release of a prisoner, or maybe to flatter an important person. I do not know, and Barnabas would not tell me. I suppose I will know when I see it. Providence. I suppose we all could use some, sometimes. I slept very little and very badly that night. In my dream, Barnabas held a dagger to my throat and spoke to me in an ominous tone.
Listen, Neto, listen, Netovicius, listen. Are you listening? Are you really listening? Are you listening to the words between my words? The land of Poe and Lovecraft will be a welcome repose for you. Look at me, Neto. You abandoned us. You abandoned her, but she also abandoned you. And two wrongs don't make a right, do they, my dear boy? Two lefts do make a sinister desert. Oh dear, I've slit your throat a little, my dear boy. Let me.
It was raining and a trail of this nightmare lingered on my neck. I took the chance and exited from my building, letting the weather wash me clean. I walked without an umbrella down to the river and tried to read its color for any signs. Something taught to me by an old friend, something I wasn't very good at, but still I tried. Dirty paint water. Perhaps a hint of green, envy, indeterminate outcomes. This was all bullshit. I just needed to get out. Barnabas had tainted my new home. I walked by the antique pawn shop and I looked in and saw the shopkeeper, and he saw me. He looked like he saw a ghost or maybe a vampire. Or maybe he was just concerned about me, drenched and pale without an umbrella. Maybe this was just the expression of someone who cares. Anyway, I will let you know what I decide.